Alright, so welcome back to episode 3 of my Understanding PHP series. In this episode, we've already said what PHP is, explained how it works, and we've installed WAMP server for Windows. So now we're going to go into the basic syntax of PHP, and we have 4 main topics I want to cover here, which are variables, printing, concatenation, and operators. So we're going to start off with variables. Every variable in PHP starts with a $sign. It's shift and 4 on most keyboards. So variable equals and then value. One of the nice things about PHP is you haven't got to define a data type. So if we were in, say, VB, you'd have to do dim variable as, say, integer equals 10. But in here, it saves time. It just figures out the data type itself. So you have your 4 main data types. You have your integers, string, which is that, single, which is something with numbers after decimal place, and boolean, which is just true or false. And no errors, always good. So yeah, integers, whole numbers, strings, text, or numbers you don't want to perform maths on, such as telephone numbers, singles, numbers with numbers after the decimal point, and boolean, just true or false values. You can use integers, ones and zeros for boolean values, but it's just a lot easier to understand if you actually use true and false. The computer can't tell the difference. It thinks 1 is true and 0 is false. So moving on to printing. The main tool of PHP is echo. Echo is what makes it work. Basically, without it, PHP would be quite useless. So you echo, say, hello. If I refresh the page over here, we get hello printed at the top. Now, this doesn't seem as powerful, but if you have like a loop going through a series of values, you can print each one to the page via that. Say like a table. You could create a table and you could fill the table and add rows with data from a database, say. So if I show you how tags work in these printing methods, you literally put in the tag you want, so h1. You just think of it as writing HTML inside these 2 quotation marks. So if you want a header 1 of a string, there you go. I'll view the source, h1 string. For the sake of this, I'm not having all the doc type HTML, the HTML tags, and the head and body. It's just an example to show you how PHP works. So another thing I can do is I can echo variables out to the user. So if I do a paragraph tag with string inside it, close the tag, semicolon, I get a paragraph tag of string as well, and that prints out there. And if I change this to like that, change it there, change it in the source code. Okay. So one more note here. If you're echoing, say, a variable, say we echo string again, you'll notice that Atom has highlighted it here, but not here. Atom's the text editor. That's because I've used single quotes here and double quotes here. Single quotes won't pass this through as the variable. It'll just pass it straight through as a string. So if I refresh this, I get $string. It still doesn't give me the tags, as it's still HTML and it's still processed by the page, as you can see here. So moving on to string concatenation. This is essentially just mashing 2 strings together. So if I have echo hello, and in most languages you use a plus or an ampersand, but in here you use a dot to push 2 strings together. Then we can do space world, semicolon to close it, and it'll print out hello world with 2 concatenated strings. But now operators are your plus, your minus, less than, more than, less than or equal to, more than or equal to. And you've got your logical operators as well, such as or, and not. But we'll go into more detail of them when we get to statements, such as if and loops. So we're going to start off, we're going to create num1 equal to 10, num2 equal to 40, and let's make this one bigger, 50. And we're going to do sum equals num1 plus num2. So now that's not going to print anything because we haven't echoed anything out. This is just doing maths, wasting processing, wasting processor space, wasting RAM, whatever. But if I now echo out the sum, we get, I'm going to put in a line break, hang on. Okay, so all this does is just add in a line break in the code. So if I go, yeah, there's a line break. Comment that out. Okay, so we have 90. I can also put this in a string, so I could have num1 plus num2 equals, and then sum. And that'll print out, I'm still printing out that. 50 plus 40 equals 90, and that'll all change depending on whatever that is. So 90 plus 40 is 130, or I could do 90 plus 20 is 110, or I could do 90 minus 80. 90 plus minus 80 is 10. So that's the basics of variables, printing, concatenation, and operators. There is another printed method called printar, which you can go into. I'll leave a link in the description for the documentation that you can find on php.net. It's a print _r is essentially a more how to describe it, a more developer orientated one, because as you can see here, this is just creating an array of apple, banana, and with a subarray. So printar will just print out the structure of that array. So it's a lot more developer orientated. It's for troubleshooting. It's for checking array structure, checking object structure, things like that. So you can read up on that if you want. I'll go into it later, but it's not going to be very useful for us here. Yeah, if you look around this site, it has a lot of useful documentation about PHP. So you can look at echoing variables. And next session, we're going to get into statements. So if statements, loops, maybe some arrays to show you how the loops can properly work. And after that, we'll go into superglobals. So sessions, cookies, server superglobals, things like that. So you can get information about users and you can track them around your website. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.